Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
Welcome to Beyond the Badge, a program about the inner workings of the Edina Police and Fire Departments. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sergeant Brian Hubbard. School resource officers have the primary goal of keeping students safe. Fire Captain Ryan Quinn joins us with Edina School Resource Officer David Busalis to talk about how these officers build relationships between police and the community's youth to achieve their objectives. Ryan?
Thanks, Brian. We're here today at Edina High School with School Resource Officer Dave Busalis. How are you doing today, Dave?
Good, Ryan. How are you?
Doing well. Today we'd like to talk about what a school resource officer is, kind of what schools you cover, where you go. What can you tell us about this?
Absolutely. Edina has two school resource officers that are assigned to the schools. We're assigned here during the 9-month period when school is in session. I myself am assigned to the high school, so I primarily office out of the high school. And then there's another officer who's assigned to the middle schools that works both middle schools and the 6 elementary schools. So
you're fairly well covered. What are some of your primary roles that you would do here for yourself personally here at the high school?
Basically, a school resource officer is someone who's, I'm stationed out of the high school, I'm stationed in the schools, and I kind of bridge the gap between the police department and the school. So I'm someone who the school is familiar with and someone that they know on a normal basis that we're able to build trusting relationship and kind of work in between the school and the city.
So Dave, what does a typical day for you look like?
You know, a typical day we start out at the police department. So I get to the police department, I check in with administration there, see what's going on. I get into the school just prior to when it starts, and I check in with the school administration to see if anything new has come up, and kind of work through that, work with counselors to see if there's any issues that have come up, and then I'm out in the hallways a lot trying to make positive connections with the kids, so I'm someone who's approachable and kind of have an idea of what's going on.
So it sounds like the students would have a great opportunity to get to know you on a personal level. Any questions that they have throughout other students, they can come to you for advice, and you can work through any problems that they might have?
Absolutely. So I work a lot with parents and students, and there may be issues that arise, and I can kind of put a personal touch to dealing with them because they get to know me, and I'm stationed here for numerous years. So it gives a personal touch, which is important in law enforcement because when you work the road, sometimes you just deal with people for a 10 or 15 minute, incident, and you don't ever see them again. So this is an opportunity for me to do follow-up and develop relationships, which is extremely important, especially now with everything going on in law enforcement.
That sounds like a great opportunity to really build some lasting relationships. What are some of your best moments so far as a school resource officer?
You know, there's quite a few. I think what stands out are a couple different times where I've got to see through a problem that starts with a student and maybe parents that are coming in to ask for advice and be able to walk with them hand in hand through the process and see how they're doing and be able to check in with them and see the difference and kind of be there to help them throughout the whole entire process and see the positive change. Again, I go back to, well, people on the street just go and fix a problem quickly and they don't see the end result. I'm able to walk hand in hand and be there to help them throughout the whole entire process, which in turn builds a positive relationship with police in the community, which is extremely important.
I would absolutely agree. Thank you so much for being a positive role model for a lot of these students, somebody to look up to, and for all the work you're doing here at the high school.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ryan.
Brian, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and that means a lot of deep fryers are coming out of storage to cook the turkey. The Edina Fire Department wants to be sure you stay safe when setting up the fryer. Begin by placing the fryer outdoors on a level surface and away from your home. Use the right amount of oil, as any extra could ignite if it gets on the burner. You'll also want to thaw and dry off the turkey because a combination of water and hot oil could cause a fire. And of course, only adults should tend to the fryer.
Number one, read the manufacturer's recommendations on how to do it safely. Second thing is once you begin, always be in attendance of it. And then the third thing is, if at all possible, try to do this style of cooking, which is a little bit different than normal, in an area where if something bad occurs, it won't start your house on fire or burn someone.
Once you've finished using the fryer, carefully remove the pot from the burner and let the oil cool overnight. For the safest approach, wear safety goggles to shield your eyes, use oven mitts, and keep a grease-related fire extinguisher nearby. In the event that a fire does start, remember to never use water to put out a grease fire. As if the Nigerian Prince phone scam wasn't bad enough, now there's a new scam taking its place. It's called the kidnapping scam. Edina police are warning seniors about this scam in which thieves call and claim to have kidnapped a loved one. Thieves may use what looks like a loved one's phone number, also known as spoofing, to make the call seem more authentic. They also have used a second person who pretends to be in hysterics, which further confuses the victim.
The key to solving these, I believe, is figuring out how they're getting the names and numbers. Because I don't think they're just going through a phone book. I don't think it's random. I think there's some way they're targeting the elderly. And in one case, we had a woman, she got scammed for about $100,000, and she changed her lifelong phone number. This was tough to do. She changes the number, gives the number to a handful of places she does business with, and they started calling her on the new number.
The best defense against this scam is to let unknown numbers go to voicemail and check with other family members about the whereabouts of children and grandchildren. If you or someone you know has been victimized, document what happened with as much detail as possible and contact Edina Police at 952-826-1610. On behalf of the City of Edina's Public Safety Team, thanks for tuning in to learn a little bit more of what goes on beyond the badge. Until next time, stay safe.